Ancient women went without sex for months, sometimes years, and what they did instead built the foundations of human civilization. Think about the world your female ancestors lived in. Pregnancy took 9 months. Breastfeeding could last 2 or 3 years. For large stretches of a woman's adult life, she was either pregnant, nursing, or in the long biological pause between those states. Sex was not always available. It was not always safe. And for women living in small bands on open plains, it was sometimes simply not an option. So what did they do with that energy? Researchers who study the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last surviving hunter-gatherer groups on Earth, have found something remarkable. The most productive food gatherers in the entire group are post-reproductive women. Older women, no longer sexually active, no longer focused on reproduction at all, and they are the ones feeding the most people. Anthropologist Kristen Hawkes, who spent years living among the Hadza, developed what she calls the grandmother hypothesis. The idea is this: a woman who stops reproducing early and redirects her energy toward her grandchildren and her community does more to pass on her genes than a woman who keeps reproducing until she dies. Because the children she feeds survive. The grandchildren she protects thrive. And the group she holds together outlasts its rivals. Abstinence, in this view, was not deprivation. It was strategy. But it was not only grandmothers. Young women also had long periods without sexual partners, and the archaeological record shows what they did with that time. They made things. The oldest known sewing needles, found in Siberia and dating back 50,000 years, were almost certainly used by women. Weaving, spinning, basketry, pottery, the preservation of food through drying and fermentation, the knowledge of which plants relieve fever and which roots ease childbirth. These technologies did not emerge from boredom. They emerged from focus, from the kind of sustained attention that becomes possible when the demands of a sexual relationship are not competing for your time and energy. Psychologist Helen Fisher, who has studied human bonding and desire for decades, argues that the female brain under conditions of low sexual activity does not go dormant. It redirects. The neural circuits associated with attachment and nurturing stay active. The drive toward connection does not disappear. It finds new objects. A child, a craft, a community, a cause. This is not a metaphor. It is biology. Your brain runs on the same chemicals it always has. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, does not require sex to be released. It is released when you hold a baby, when you braid someone's hair, when you sit close to another person and listen to them speak. Ancient women were bathed in oxytocin not through sex, but through the daily physical intimacy of group life. Nursing, grooming, sleeping in close contact with people they trusted. So when those women went without sex, they did not go without closeness. They went deeper into it. Archaeological evidence from sites in France, Spain, and southern Africa shows finger-width holes drilled into cave walls at roughly the same height, clustered together, worn smooth by repeated touch. Some researchers believe these were created by women during rituals of collective prayer or meditation. Hands pressed against stone, again and again, in spaces where women gathered apart from men. Spaces that were, in the language of anthropologist David Lewis Williams, charged with meaning. Whatever was happening in those caves, it was not passive. It was intentional. And it was happening during the long, quiet stretches of women's lives when reproduction was not the point. Here is the counterintuitive twist. The modern world has given you more sexual access than any woman in history. And it has also given you less of everything else. Less physical closeness with other women. Less time spent in shared labor. Less of the daily skin-to-skin contact that once flooded your body with the chemistry of belonging. So the restlessness you feel is not about sex. Or not only about sex. It is about the whole ecosystem of connection that your body expects and your life may not be providing. Your ancestors knew how to fill that gap. They filled it with their hands, with their knowledge, with each other. Tonight, the thing you are lying awake wanting may not be what you think it is. It may be what those women were already building 50,000 years ago in the firelight with their fingers in the stone. Connection, purpose, the feeling that you matter to the people around you. That is what ancient women did when they didn't have sex. They built the world you live in. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe.